All right, what's good, y'all? What's good, chat? What's up, everyone? Um, how are y'all doing today on this, you know, good Friday? It's April 15th. I got my guy Vick3 here with me.
Yo,
And
yo.
you guys can go subscribe to Vick3 at Vick3, literally on YouTube and his Twitter. But introduce yourself to the people that don't know you.
What's good, everybody, man? It's Vick3. You see me in the chats. You see me always supporting great content like my guy tonight. You'll catch me on the East Meets West podcast every Wednesday night with AK Eagles. I got Foothills, Philly Foothills, and my guy Jill from the 215. And I got my show, The Big Ticket, every Saturday with my guy Jerry Lee. But,
Yes,
appreciate you
sir.
for letting me come through.
Yep. Anytime, man. I put his link in the description. So, yes, Big Fritz. I did grow out the hair. I'm trying to get it cut this week, but um, yeah, though, the Eagles made a couple moves this offseason, and it's very interesting. Howie Roseman's kind of at work right now. And then we have, I think, 2 weeks to go to the draft. So, we can start off pretty quickly. What was your thoughts on the free agency moves, both offensively and defensively, since we made a couple this offseason?
I think we made some sound moves. The move to get Reddick was something that we were all wanting to happen, and it did. I think a little people were underwhelmed with the offseason so far, but I like the moves that were made. Like we made smart moves. We weren't trying to waste money. We spent money wisely. You know, People are upset the fact that we didn't get a veteran wide receiver. We re-signed Greg Ward. We all know what that means. We got Zach Pascal. He's somewhat unproven, but he's someone that could have has a lot of potential. He could be a good number two. Um, Zaire White, I love that signing also. He's a PA kid from Emmaus, close to my hometown. I got to see him in high school. Played safety, played great. In college, had a great career, and then he played great for the Chargers, and now he's with the Eagles. He's back home, so he's going to play with a lot of intensity. He has a lot to play for. Like I said, I don't think the off season was, and there was any wow factor aside of the Reddick signing. But for the most part, I think it was a smart, sound off season so far.
Yeah, we got Pasco, Kaiser White, and then Reddick. And then the Eagles. I feel like the last three moves that we've made for the team, it's been more scheme fits. I personally feel like it's been more scheme fits just for the fact that Hassan Reddick came in as a hybrid type fit, a guy that can drop back in coverage, and then pass rush. I don't think we're gonna have to use him as just a drop back linebacker because as just a pass rusher, he's one of the best in the league. And I think he had about 11 sacks last year. So I think this was a good move because they're white. That fills out the Alex Singleton spot. And then you got Zach Pascal, who's going to be your big slot receiver. So I'm liking the move, man. And I agree with your points as well. But what do you think the Eagles' plan was going into this offseason? Just based off like these moves. What do you think their plan was?
Well, I think target number one was Calvin Ridley. That was first and foremost. They had a plan to go get a wide receiver. They only had him in mind. They probably had some backups, but once the Jaguars made their move for Christian Kirk, that blew their plans out of the water. People were bidding high for receivers, and the Eagles weren't trying to spend that amount for the players that were out there. As for the Riddick thing, I mean, excuse me, the Ridley thing, we all know for the most part it's an unjust suspension. But the one thing I do want to mention is, the offseason isn't done yet. We all know that there's one free agent out there everyone's been clamoring all week to get. We were supposed to have him sign, from what reports said 2 days ago, 48 hours ago. At the time on Monday, we said he was supposed to sign in 48 hours. So here we are. It's Friday. We still haven't got Taron Matthews. But I don't know if you know about this. Vic Williams, shout out to him. He actually posted a tweet earlier today, reporting that the reason why the Eagles haven't signed Taron Matthews is for the fact that we were trying to see if we can get Kyle Hamilton in the draft. Matthew actually seen the tweet and replied. So, and he also had another reply that he took down both. He deleted both tweets, but the second one was more interesting. The second one alluded to the fact that he might be signing with Philadelphia.
Hmm. I
So,
didn't. I didn't know
There's
that.
a lot of moves yet to be made.
You're right. Mm-hmm. The thing is, I didn't know that actually. So that's actually the first time I actually heard that. But if we're trying to get Hamilton and Matthew, I think that could work out both. Because Hamilton, I don't know, because he's one of those players that like he's top of his class, but you don't know where he's gonna go. Like Washington could get him. He might slip out of the top 10, maybe into
Hmm.
Washington's laps, or there might be a trade up. Someone might trade up for him just because of his talent. And then the Matthew thing, it's just with money. I don't know what it's gonna take. It's just about the money price. Because today we saw that Stephon Gilmore signed with the Colts, so that's another free agent defensive back off the board. So we have to go get Matthew. Sooner rather
Yeah.
than later.
Well, for with the money, originally it was said it was 18, but then that price was taken down when they found out what Kansas City had played their recent signing, their safety, and it became 10 million. So
Mm-hmm.
his asking price, he said he was cool with 10 million. That's what we're gonna go off of. If you're good with 10, that's what everyone around the league knows that price now. So it. I think for the Eagles is their first move or their first priority was Hamilton. They want to see if they can get him in the draft because you have a generational player at safety. He's coming in with a rookie deal. He's not a veteran. Let's be honest. Matthew Farrell, however great he is, comes with a lot of knowledge, but physically, he's slowed down a bit. He's lost a step. So if you got a young rookie in here that can, potentially be here for the next 8 to 10 years and build with this team, and right off the bat, you're not paying him as much, that makes more sense for the Eagles. So I think priority number one is trying to get Hamilton if that happens. If it doesn't, then you still have Matthews in the background that you can draft. I mean, that you can get off of free agency.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like that would work, but I don't know with the Saints. Like I could see them still scooping him up. And I know they just added Marcus May, but they still need another strong safety next to Marcus May because he's a free safety. So I don't know what they're gonna do there, but there's a couple teams out there. I feel like we're the number one suitor right now. But man, I feel like with the Matthew thing too, like Howie Roseman, like he's got to be like patient with this move because Matthew last year he was decent, he wasn't great. I don't think it's got to be a like day one signing. You have to go get him. It's just got to be a fair price range. Because I think he has the mentality to play in the city, and I feel like he was always destined to play here because he's a better version of Malcolm Jenkins, and that's what we want here.
Yeah, for the GM for Howie Roseman, it's like playing poker. You got to keep that straight face. You know what your hand is. You know what you got. You don't want Matthews or anything else. You don't want to know that you can up the amount if that's any case. And as for the Saints, I obviously no disrespect to them, but I think they're just being used as a ploy to try to drive up the price to have another team there that's interested in it. If he wanted to sign with New Orleans, that's his hometown. He would have done it already. It wouldn't have mattered what the price is. It looks like he's trying to get the most out of what he can. He understands that this is most likely his last big time contract or the most money that he's going to get in his career right now. After this, I don't see anything being anywhere near the amount that he can command now. So he knows his time's up. He got to get the money while he can. He's got the rings. That's not important to him anymore. If New Orleans want it, they can throw the bag at him. And I think they offered him the bag, but he still hasn't made that move yet. So I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know if he wants the best of both worlds by getting the money and having a contending team and coming with the Eagles, or just having one or the other.
Yeah. Um, I feel like even if he wanted to go win another ring with another team, I feel like they would have to backload his contract, and I could see us doing a 2-year move where we get him for 2 years and put a 10 mil price range on it, so he's not taking up most of our money, but he's still getting a good amount of it. But it's got to be a fair price range because I don't want to overpay him. He was decent last year, and I understand that because, like, if you look back at last offseason, we signed Steven Nelson, and we thought he was going to be this amazing move, and that didn't work out so well for us. And it was just about the price range. We didn't overpay for Nelson, but we understood that he's not the greatest player in the world. He's a decent player, and I don't want to overpay for Matthew. I want to keep him here, or I want to get him here, and then just see what his leadership is like because I think it's great. And then if he's a good player, maybe you resign him in the future, maybe a 1 year, 2 year deal. But it's more sort of price range for me. Um, and then the next question I have for you is, what was your thoughts on the Eagles Saints trade that happened a couple weeks ago?
Now, looking at it now, like I said, I understand it. Initially, I was a little upset. I felt that we lost control of the draft. I felt that us being a team that had three picks, especially how close we had, I know there would have been teams clamoring to get up there. They could have possibly offered us more than what New Orleans did, but it is what it is. They're talking about now that a lot of teams aren't trying to come up into the top five spots. It's going to be the middle of the draft they're going to work with, but we've already made our move.
Absolutely. I personally feel like right now, what the Eagles are trying to do is just based off of what I've seen here. I think the Eagles, they're gonna stay put there at 15 and 18. And with this trade, it gives you flexibility for the future because now that you have two picks this year, and you have two picks next year, you just got to see how Hurts is. And I don't know, man. I think the Eagles organization is sold on him, but they're not fully sold on him. I think it's more sort of his play last year. Um, the trade, I thought it was good. I thought we did a little better though, because we took a lot out of that trade, and they did pretty good. They got two out of it this year, and I don't know
A
what they're gonna do
third,
next year. I'm not a fan of what they did last year. And I think the Saints kind of overpaid here with what they were trying to do with the trade. I thought they should have been a little bit more patient. And now that they got stagnant, they put an offer on the table for Howie Roseman, and then Howie Roseman took it. What's up, Delco? How are you doing, man? Appreciate you for stopping by. Good to see you. Um, but yeah, that was the next question I was gonna actually ask you. Do you think the Eagles front office truly believes Hurts is the guy going forward?
I think what they intended to do was put enough weapons around him so that way he can succeed. Like we said earlier, the plan was to get a good quality veteran wide receiver. They had their sights set on a particular guy who unfortunately was suspended, didn't work out. They had sights on other receivers, but the price was too high. Their intent was good, their execution not so much. They could have done better. They could have made moves. Um, I don't know. People talk about the out not Allen Robinson, Robert Woods deal, but when you look at his deal, it was a little too ridiculous. And at the time, you got to look at his injury history. Him coming back from that injury, I wouldn't trust it at his age. There were some other receivers out there, possibly Allen Robinson, but again, when you look at what they received, it's more than what we were willing to pay for. So it's understandable. I get people being frustrated. They're saying because of the lack of moves that maybe we're not surrounding Jalen, but you got to look at what they were trying to do. Their intent was to surround Jalen with some weapons, and you see they're still trying now. This off season is not over yet. We're still in that process. We have about what 5 months left, so there's still a lot of time to make more moves.
Absolutely. Um, yeah, I don't know, bro. I've always been like so hesitant with Hurts. I think he's got the potential, but
Mhm.
I just see like so much like signs of like him with his trouble scanning the field. Sometimes he's stagnant in some like situations. Like he can get out the pocket, but what can he do outside of the pocket other than running? Like if he's in a situation where that first read isn't there, and then like that second read, he flashes the other way, but he doesn't do anything. He just stays stagnant. And I don't know. I don't think that's gonna really help him in the future. So if it doesn't work this offseason, I don't think he's gonna be the quarterback going forward. Ah,
Well, I'll say this. A lot of people kind of say the same things that he's stagnant and can't make threes, but you have to understand this was the first year for him in this offense. When he first started the year, the offense was more expanded than what it was at the end of the year. Jalen was, put in a position where he was in command of the offense. He had to throw the ball more. We've seen that the offense changed to more of a rushing attack. So, there were some responsibilities taken away from him. And we seen he improved in play. He got better when, there was less on his plate. Now with this offseason, we see he's working with House, Tom Duvernay. He's working with Tom Brady also. A lot of people kind of downplay that. He's out there with Tom Brady, the GOAT himself. You're going to tell me that he's not going to soak up as much knowledge as possible, and that's not going to carry on into next season. I think people doubt him a little too much and don't see that you're not going to be a finished product that first year coming out or that second year coming out. Like Joe Burrow, everyone says him, but look at what was around him. Look at the situation that was surrounding him at the time. He got in. He was in a pretty good place. First season, yeah, that offense was horrible. Well, they were 4-12. But the next year, once they got everything and they got Jamar Chase, a standout wide receiver, they go to the Super Bowl. So at any year, something can happen. So who's to say next season we don't get a stride and Jalen doesn't pick things up and progress from there? What are people going to say then? That can't read the defense. I don't think any quarterback that gets drafted or that's starting for an NFL team does not know how to read defense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that quarterback doesn't know how to make reads because if he did it, he wouldn't be a starting quarterback.
Right. Now that's true. I agree with that. It's just like I feel like if he doesn't work on it this offseason, it's wraps for him. Like he's got the potential. I get that. He's got the running ability. As a quarterback though, he shows some good signs, but I just see more bads and goods in that quarterback present. But it is his first year as a starter, as you said. So I'll give him one more year. But if he's not there next year, bro, hey,
Well, my thing for Philly fans is why do you have such high expectations? What are you expecting? What quarterback before him did you have these expectations for? That's what I'd like to know because it wasn't here for Carson. It wasn't here for anyone else, even for Donovan. Those expectations weren't here. So why is everyone, taking Jalen Hurts and all of a sudden saying he has to do everything by a certain amount of time? When and in history, at no other time are we like this. What makes Jalen so polarizing that he has to have it done this year? And again, I'm not trying to stick up from saying he can't, but I just want to know what's the need from the fans to say, oh, he has to be like the man next year. We're done. Because what position do you think that's going to leave us in next season with a new quarterback who's starting out in a new offense, new to the league, has to catch up? It's going to be slow. It's going to be painful. So the grass isn't always greener on the other side. You have to fully think out what you're saying before you say it, people.
no, that's facts. Now I want him to succeed this year. And I personally feel like if he does succeed this year, if he has like a 26 touchdowns passing or like 27 touchdowns passing, anywhere in that range with about, I don't know, like 11, 12 interceptions, maybe. I could see less than that. If it's less than that, then you look at maybe 3,700, 800, 900 yards with a solid pass rating. I think he could be here next year. And then that helps us out more because if he's good next year, then you don't have to take a quarterback like a CJ Stroud or Bryce Young or Van Dyke. You could just take those two picks as complementary pieces for your team going forward. And I think that will help us out a lot.
Can I just mention something? Because I keep on hearing people mention Bryce Young. Bryce Young is so far away from being a starting NFL quarterback.
All right.
Even if he were to be drafted next year, that kid's not going to be a good starter. He's
I
about
agree.
and one thing too that a lot of people talk that don't really realize, Alabama isn't a school that produces quarterbacks. They kind of neglect that. The only reason why there are any kind of good quarterbacks is because the program that it is. It's kind of like LSU. LSU was great for defense, not really known for quarterbacks, only until Joe Burrow. And even then after that, you don't really hear much. It's not a good quarterback produced in college, so I don't know why everyone's so hyped about this kid. Again, look at what he's done. Everyone talks about Jalen. That last bowl game he had, Young collapsed. He played
Mhm.
horribly. What's the
Yeah,
hype for him
we
for?
almost lost to my Auburn Tigers actually, so that's another thing. We almost beat them. We should have beaten them that game. I feel like the problem with him is he has some Jalen Hurts' issues coming out of college. Like sometimes, like there's situations where like the offensive line will bail him out or the receivers will bail him out because Alabama has such a loaded roster. There's more
Hmm.
bailouts than him just doing good. It makes him look better. I don't think he'll be as good as he is right now in the NFL, and I don't think he deserves to win the Heisman Trophy as he did. But I think there's more of like reflection off of like how he played. It's more of a reflection because his team is so good. He doesn't get like any like blame, even if he does one bad mistake, and no one like
And
looks at it.
but that's a big issue with Alabama quarterbacks. Like for me, for the most part, they're average, and a lot of their deficiencies are taken care of because of the talent that they have at wide receiver, at running back, at the line. If you would put those Alabama kids on a regular, NCAA team, they would not be playing as well.
Hmm.
When Alabama looks for a certain kind of quarterback as well, they're not really looking for a strong arm pocket quarterback. They're looking for someone who's mobile. Mac Jones was an oddity, but it was only because, he was a student of the game. Even though he doesn't have a strong arm, he still knows that, where to get the ball before it's supposed to be there. He understands the receiver's routes. He's very smart, and that gets him through. So like I said, Alabama isn't really known for turning out quarterbacks. I don't know what anyone's expected from him or from them, I should say.
Yeah. But I think I really like Stroud and Van Dyke. I still think Young has to work out on a lot of this things. Just the overall like bad things of his game. He has to work it like on it a lot this offseason. But I don't know, bro. I feel like with Bryce Young, like maybe if it's the offseason, if he doesn't work on it, he might come in next year and then he still has a really loaded roster and then he just does good again. And then some team will try to take him and then like, think they hit the jackpot, but they didn't. And I'm looking at a team like the Giants. The Giants, if they don't take a quarterback this year and they look at Bryce Young next year and their offensive line isn't completely set, then they go up and trade for him. Man, that could be terrible for their organization.
With the Giants, they're very interesting because I think they have six and not 11, 12 or something like that, or 13. I know they have
No,
two
they
picks in
have
the
six
first round.
and I think they have 5 and 7 this year.
Is it that close?
Yeah, they have 5 and 7. They got the early picks actually.
Well, I think for them, they have a good opportunity of moving back in the draft, especially at five, because they don't necessarily need to pick anyone at five. Because let's be honest, they're looking for a lineman. Neal, for the most part, will be there by seven. If that's their move, they can still get their guy, move back, and possibly still even draft the best quarterback in this draft. For whatever it's worth, whatever you think of these quarterbacks, they can still get the best guy. It could be Sam Howell, it could be Kenny Pickett. I think leadership Howell's the guy. Pickett's intriguing. Malik Willis is another free talent, but I think all these guys are years away.
Hmm. Yeah, Pickett too. Um, I think Pickett with him, he's got the talent. I think he might have the best career because like he's not a quarterback that does the most. He's more like just in the pocket, kind of like Derek Carr. I'm not completely like him, but he's got this like
Mhm.
same like components to him. He has the same like areas like of like improvement and just like the good play style, kind of like Derek Carr. Just the play styles is almost alike to me. And then with Willis is just more like hero ball. He comes back in the game to help his team, more type of quarterback.
Hmm.
What's up, Tosh?
With
What's
Pickett,
up?
I think he'll end up being the first quarterback taken. I think Carolina has it locked up. We all know Matt will try to recruit him in college. That's the guy that's going to hopefully save his career. As for Willis, I think the Redskins will get him at 11. Understandably they have Carson Wentz, yeah, but we all know his contract can be ripped up after this year, and his play alone will get himself taken out of the starting lineup.
Hmm. Speaking of the Panthers, actually, um, Robbie Anderson, and this came out of his mouth. Robbie
I
Anderson,
know.
he doesn't want to play with Baker Mayfield. He's good. He don't want to play with him. Uh,
Well, I said this before when I first heard this. This is going to be the most relevant Robbie Anderson, or Robbie Anderson, however you say his name, is going to be in his life. I don't know why he thinks that he would have any say in who his quarterback should be. He's not even a good player. That's like the
He's
worst.
decent.
That reminds me when Carson went to the Colts.
Right.
How he was like, "Yeah, I want to be number 11," and my guy was like, "Nah, I'm gonna stay with number 11." Like you're all right, but you're not even the best player on the team. How are you speaking up?
Yeah, I agree with you. And I still think the Panthers or Seahawks are gonna trade for Bake, but this is a
Hell, I don't even
question.
know if Robbie Anderson will still be on that team next year. This season, I should say.
His contract actually is
He
not,
might get cut. He might get cut. He hasn't been playing well. His contract's way too much.
and they just re-signed DJ Moore. PJ
Yep.
Pittman is nice though. Yeah, that's facts. Um,
Pittman's decent, but he still wasn't in a position to say I ain't giving up my number.
yeah. Speaking of the draft, actually, um, what do you think, or who do you think are the top 5 players in the draft class for 2020?
Woo.
Hey, I seen East Coast Gridiron in your chat the other day, bro. He was giving hot takes left and right, bro. It was crazy.
Well, I think everyone who's heard me know that the top three spots are automatically go to that Georgia D line. You got Jordan, you got Walker, you got Wyatt. Those three are going to be amazing talents in their own respect. Hamilton is another guy. Thibodeau is my other guy. I'm gonna give a top five. But the one thing I will say about the draft, a lot of people knock it. I think there's a lot of talent. The thing that it doesn't have is that marquee quarterback. And I think that's probably what everyone gets down on, especially with national media. That's what they get down on because that's what sells the draft, that quarterback position. And there isn't really a consensus number one overall when you look at it either. Right now, Walker is looked at possibly as a number one. Hutchinson stock is going down. Thibodeau stock, we already heard, is possibly going down. And Hamilton. So there really isn't even a consensus number one in this draft. But I think it's deep in talent.
Yeah. And then like Stingley and Sauce, you put it best the other day in my comment section. They're gonna have almost a similar career. Like just they're gonna get lined up with each other all the time. In terms of cornerbacks, I think it's gonna be like a Revis Sherman type thing. And
It, yeah,
I personally feel like Sauce is more press anyway. He's more like press zone, where Stingley's more man, kind of like Revis, and then Sherman was more press and zone, and Sauce is more like that.
yeah, that's like to me. Like I even think it goes far. Like the way they're going to be looked at is the way quarterbacks were looked at, Manning and Leaf, because they're 1A, one B. Sauce locked it down for a while. No one scored on him. Everyone's seen that tape of Stingley on Jamar Chase, and then
Mm,
that wasn't the first time it happened. That's all day in practice. Stingley's locking them down. So do you take a guy who hasn't played a while and has a very high ceiling, or a guy who for the most part people think are proven and can be a starter right now out the gates? It's going to be a tough decision. When you're looking at which one you want to take.
hmm Speaking of the draft again, let's do a 7 round mock draft for the Eagles. Hold on, I gotta pull it up. It might be already up. Just to kind of pick your brain here on what you think the Eagles should do. Uh, got it right here. So 7 round mock draft for the Eagles. Uh, and the Eagles this year have about what, I think 7 picks or more than that, maybe 10. I think 11. They got a lot of picks in this draft, a lot. Um, so oh man, who was the first guy I picked off the board? It was Neil, and then the trade offer is already up. All right,
I'm
Vic,
not. I'm not
here's the
accepting
first pick.
these trades. I will not be accepting any trades today. We are locking this down. Who is the best
Oh,
defensive
nah,
end available right now?
there's no way that's happening.
Who's the
Gardner,
best defensive end available? Who they got out there?
Gardner's there.
Is it
Carl.
Mr. Karlaftis? Hmm. That's pretty tough. But I will say this for us, if we're looking at this is serious, like if the Eagles are looking at this, there are less defensive ends than what there are corners when I'm talking about talent in the draft. There's a big drop off once you get into that. You're done with the top five defensive ends. There's a huge drop off after that. So I think right now, if this is the position we're in, and I know people see Gardner there, they might say, yeah, you have to take him regardless. And I would say that. That's something that the Eagles would do. They would take him regardless. But in actuality, I don't think he would fall that far.
Mm-hmm.
I think they would go with a defensive end. But we're looking at what's available now. Sauce Gardner has to be the pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Correll and then Karlaftis. Nope.
Now let's go look at Olave. I'm not dealing with Williams and that injury. Y'all can take that, go somewhere else with it. Let me get the best route runner and deep threat, Olave.
Mm-hmm. Olave.
But let me just say this though, because you see Andrew Booth Jr. and he's had a visit with the Eagles this week. If that chance would come up where you see Sauce and you see Booth, I don't think people should be surprised if the Eagles decide to go with Booth.
Really?
I know people would be upset, but don't be surprised if that were the case.
Mm-hmm. I mean, all right. I personally love Olave as a receiver. My only thing with him is just like sometimes his press coverage skills, like if he's on press coverage, he sometimes can't beat it. Like he consistently can't beat it. Like he'll get off of it, but he won't beat it. Like he has sometimes where he beats it, but there's other times where like he's about to beat it, but he doesn't beat it. It's annoying, but like I don't know.
Hey,
Like
you watched that Michigan game, right? You watched that Michigan game, right? He tore it up, didn't he? Yeah, you can tear it up. Let's stick with Olave. Let's stick with Olave.
Hey, I'll take him. As a two, I think that's a perfect compliment to Smith. Dude, wow. London goes 28.
This is surprising me how many people are dropping down though.
Kyler, wow. Lloyd, wow. He went that far. I think Dean is still left there. Nah, he was gone.
I see Jaquan Baker still.
Tyler Linderbaum.
Yeah, listen, that's going to really happen. Don't be surprised. All right, now we had a cornerback. We got a wide receiver. Now we have to see if there is an available defensive end left. Who's the best available defensive end? Let me see the edge.
David Ojabo.
Now, for me, I'm gonna take what is it, Nick Boito or Bonito?
Oh, but
that would be my pick. Nick Bonito would be my pick. But we're talking about the Eagles, so it would probably be Ojabo.
Ojabo, yeah.
As upsetting as it is, again, I'm not saying my pick. I'm saying what I think the Eagles would do, and we all know that. Howie would take a risk on that kid, especially if he's there at that time. Not something I would want, but I feel like that's something that they would do.
Mm-hmm. Bonito will be a good pick.
Yeah, I like Bonito. That would be my pick all the way. Now with here, we're gonna go safety.
Safety.
I'm hoping my guy Kirby is there.
Kirby Joseph is there.
Hold on, Kirby Joseph or Nick Cross, which is a good debate. I'm gonna have to go with Nick Cross though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like Nick Cross. No disrespect to Kirby Joseph. He's a great player, but Nick Cross is a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a fan of both guys. I think Kirby Joseph's got some dynamite to his hitting. I'm more of a fan of Nick Cross just because of his like versatility. Dude is a guy that can just like go side to side in the field, kind of like Hamilton in a way. But he's got the length and speed for it. So I think this would be a good pick right here. What's up, Coach Dante?
What up, Coach?
Hey man, I think it's gonna get interesting, man. There's a lot of scenarios and a lot of content creators.
Ooh, Kirby Joseph to the Bengals. That's unseen, but whatever.
127, no way.
Let's see what we got at corner.
Cornerback. Ooh, is Zion? Damn, he went 2 picks ahead of us to the Broncos. It's a weak cornerback class, but besides Sauce and Booth, and then you got Stingley.
What are we in the third, right?
What's up?
This is the third round?
Yeah, this is the third round.
Third round pick.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. Let me see a linebacker just in case.
Linebacker Damon Clark is here.
Is he?
Yeah. What's up, Drew?
Hold on. Yeah, I really thought McCullum out of Sam Houston State should be available or something like that. He's a good player.
Jacoby McLean, JoJo Damon, Darion Beavers, and Clark is here too.
I don't know. I don't know if Clark would be available because you figure they like the young kid in Edwards, but for me, I'm gonna say you got to get some competition. I'd take Clark.
Okay, that's a good pick. I think
JoJo, what is it? JoJo Dunman or
Damon,
Duman, however you say it.
yeah.
He's a good talent too, but yeah, I like Clark.
Yeah, I think Clark's got one of the most like underrated pass coverage skills for the linebackers. I think his pass coverage skills as just a linebacker is dominant. I love it. What's
And
up?
it's a position of need.
What's up? 124.
Now where we at now?
We took a D tackle. I don't think we took a D tackle yet.
No, not yet. I see Nick Farrell.
Nick Farrell.
Not Nick Farrell. I'm thinking Nick Farrell from the Packers. Neil Farrell, Jr., I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I got to do my research.
LSU. He's a good player. Is this what, 4th round?
Yeah, it's the 4th round. Neil Farrell.
Let me see what's available at running back real fast before we make this
running
move.
Back.
Ooh. You know what? For Papa, Damian Pierce.
Or Brian Robinson Jr.
Nah, I'm gonna take Damian Pierce because I like he's faster overall.
Pierce is
Brian Robinson kind of reminds me of just like that second power back. He's not gonna have a lot of get up speed. He's not gonna be the guy that's gonna break it. He's gonna get you that hard, tough yard. Pierce is that overall player though. He's that guy, that special guy that can hit home runs. I like him.
Pierce is gone, and Brian Robinson.
Oh, I just seen his name. I thought he was little.
Yeah, they both went like 2 picks after each other or before each other. But another running back that's there is Amir White from Georgia. I really like that guy a lot.
I like him too, but Haskins is there too, and I feel like we can probably get him at a later round, so we can take care of the running back position from there. Let me see what
I like Haskins. I like Haskins, but I feel like he's more of a kick returner guy. Like, I don't know, man. I think as just a running back, just based off of what we have with Sanders and Gainwell, I think we need just another just power back there. We got Sanders and Gainwell; those are shifty backs. We just need that bruiser guy, and I feel like White would be that. But Haskins got some bruiser to him. I like his bruiserness too.
Let me see safety.
Safety?
Yeah. See who's out there.
Oh, Monday.
I'll take Smoke.
Yes, sir.
We'll do Smoke. Hey, safety is a position that we need. We don't need one. We need multiple safeties. So, the more the merrier, and especially at that round, that's a value pick.
Mm-hmm. I think he's gonna get ejected his first game. He's just that hard. Oh my god.
Nah, I'm not taking all that back.
All the picks.
Denied.
Yeah.
What we got available here?
Thornton, the receiver that had that 4.23.
Out of Baylor, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll take him because he might work out a special team and can beat out Rager.
I like that. That's pretty good.
What round are we in?
I think this is the 6th round.
Let me see defensive line.
Defensive line. All right. DJ Davis, he's pretty good.
DT out of Iowa State.
Iowa State, where is he?
232. I can't say his name, that's why I won't even try.
Ioma Owazarike?
Yep, there we go. Ooh, and Noah Ellis is there. We can grab him on the next round if he's there.
Okay. If he falls that far.
Let's see.
What do you think we're gonna do at guard now? With Brooks being gone.
I think that might be someone we're gonna get in a later round. We might go for guard in a later round. But for the most part, we have Driscoll. He can play guard. He's done it before. All right, that's a possible move.
Hmm.
But I think he did play guard last year, didn't he? He wasn't
What?
solely at right tackle.
What's up?
Driscoll, he wasn't solely at right tackle
Yeah, he was at right tackle,
and guard.
and he was at guard too. He was at right guard. He played both positions last year.
I see Noah Ellis is still there. Let's see if you can hold on.
It is gonna be an interesting.
This is the slowest though. What's going on?
Yeah, I got
This
it.
is just like the real draft. Later on in the rounds, everyone gets slowed up.
Facts. The last couple of years has been pretty solid for the Eagles. We need to start hitting on our picks in the
Here
late
we go. If he's there, you know what the pick is. The
Noah
pick is in.
Ellis.
Noah Ellis. I told you. And now where we're at, the seventh.
Mm-hmm.
Now with this, I'm gonna go for a center because this guy should still be available. I hope.
Nah, that's our last pick.
Oh, that was.
Yeah. Uh, we got a couple picks in the late rounds, but because we shipped that I think pick to the Saints, we don't got another late pick in the late round. We only got 37, 166 in those late rounds. But this was the draft. We got Gardner, Olave, Benito, Cross, Damon Clark, Neil Farrell Jr., Smoke Monday, Thornton, Ayoma Owuzurike, and Noah Ellis. I think that's a pretty good draft.
Yeah, man.
But because of that first round, it was so unrealistic. I feel like we should just do one for the first round just to make it a little more realistic.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I was like. Because to think of Sauce Gardner falling to 15,
yeah, just
like I
with
said, I wouldn't be mad at it. I'm not upset at it. But
yeah,
in actuality, I don't think that would really happen. The pick would have been probably like Karloftis
right.
or Johnson or Jermaine
Yeah,
Johnson. That's
Johnson.
another guy.
But I think the
But
Ravens are gonna take him, Johnson.
I think I was talking to you about Johnson before, where like I'm a little leery of him. You know,
Hmm.
like I said, he's a transfer out of Georgia, couldn't make it there, played for Florida State. You know, Florida State's a great school, but it's been playing horribly lately. You know, he was the best player on the bad team, and then when you go
Right.
into the Senior Bowl, he was getting manhandled throughout the week, and ended up leaving Senior Bowl. So you know, for me, red flags are going up left and right for him. You know, hopefully he can have a great NFL career. I could be wrong. I'm not a real scout, but when you see those things for me, if I'm trying to pick him, that's going to be a red flag for me. Anytime that there's been some competition his way, he's always shied away.
See, I'm a fan of his length and range. Like, I just love the size and like the speed that he has. Like, imagine if a guy like Mahomes or Jackson's trying to get out the pocket, those long arms are just gonna help him. I
Totally.
think it's more like not a worser version of Robert Quinn, a little bit more of a lengthier version of Robert Quinn because
Hmm.
Quinn's tall, but he's also like really strong. Jermaine Johnson's not the strongest guy; he needs to bulk up a little bit, but he's like a skinny version of Robert Quinn. He's got
Yeah.
speed and length too. But we could do
Let's
a
set this
first
draft up fast.
right. Let me make it fast. Yeah.
Hit that seventh rounder. Oh, we're doing three.
Oh, just one.
All right,
For the first round.
let's do it.
All
Let's see
right.
how the chips fall.
This is every team. This is every team. Round one. I'm gonna go with first pick. You go second, and then we'll just go rotate.
All
Uh,
right, your
first.
odds I'm even.
All right. First pick the Jaguars. They need an edge. I'm gonna look at their team needs. They need an edge. I know they need a lineman. They need a guard, a receiver, a tackle. I'm gonna take Hutchinson right here. I think that will be a good pick for them. They need a guy that could just come in, just be that guy that could come in next to Josh Allen and wreak havoc.
I think this is where the draft gets a little crazy. And for whatever reason, I feel that the Lions were put off by Thibodeau. So right here, we're going to do Trayvon Walker.
Wow, what's the buzz with this Walker guy? Like I know he's good, but is he that good?
He's a freak athlete. He's a great player. And the thing is that he could have done more. But the thing is, we all know that Georgia defensive line was getting at it. They're beasts. So like if everyone's getting at the quarterback, not everyone's going to get 10, 15 sacks. He ended up with 6 for the year. But you look at his play, and he's just demolishing offensive linemen. So, especially now when you see him in the draft and you see everything that was on tape was proven in that combine. So that's why his stock just rose.
Right. Um, I'm a big fan of Walker. I think he's pretty savvy, like as you said, he's a good athlete, a guy that can just, come in and then like he can drop back in coverage if he has to, or if the coach tells him to. And then like
Mhm.
he has this like weird savviness about him where like it's the athletic part that helps him out a lot. So I think that's what put the attention more on him instead of a guy like Kayvon or Hutchinson, and it just leveraged it towards him. I don't
Well,
know
to compare him with someone, he's more of like Hassan Ridgeway, but that can actually
how
be a defensive end. He
right.
can go back, cover. He can run with the best of them. He's fast. You've seen his 40 time, but he can also get at it with the hand on the ground.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the Cleveland Farrell situation with the Raiders. He just
Yep.
went up so many mock drafts. It made no sense to me. That 1 year that he was about to get drafted, I think he was in the second round, and then he boosted up to the top 10, and then he was eventually the fourth pick in the draft. The Raiders took him,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of how this Walker situation is. But this Texans pick, I'm gonna go with Neil. I'm gonna take Neil right here.
Ooh, I don't know if Coach Dante is going to like that, but I
Yeah.
know if this was the case. See, I have a feeling about this. I think one of the reasons why people were saying it's Hamilton will drop is because just like what you did, the Texans might not pick him, and that's what a lot of people are thinking. And I think for New York, since they also have the 10 pick, I don't think that they believe anyone else between 4 and 10 would pick Hamilton. So they might risk it here and go with Thibodeau and then come back in the 10th for Hamilton if available. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say right now, Robert Salah, he's gonna go with Thibodeau.
Okay, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. So you don't think they're gonna take Gardner?
Nah, I don't think so. I think they're gonna want to get that defensive line more explosive.
All right. Tackle, give me Aquanu right here for the Giants. They need that, like, just guy that could come in and, just be that violent offensive lineman. They don't have violence on that offensive line. They have guys that could just come in and just, be, guys that just get beat all around the place. It's crazy. Like, their guards
Mhm.
suck, their tackles suck. They need a guy that could just, hold his own. And they don't got guys that can hold their own there in New York. Um,
Carolina, I got Kenny Pickett
Pickett, wow, over Willis?
over Willis. Like I
Wow.
said, there's a relationship between the head coach and that quarterback. It's a long-standing relationship. That'll be the pick.
Okay. I could shock everyone and take Willis for the Giants here, but I'm gonna be more realistic.
The more realistic move would be Howell.
Yeah, I feel like that fits more their offense.
I
Even I
honestly think
still
that's
think
going to be
Willis,
the way they go. If they
right?
don't move back, I think that's what they do. They get Sam Howell or a quarterback, I should say, with that second pick.
I think they're gonna trade back as well. I don't think they're gonna stay there.
I think the
Um,
fifth pick would be the one that they would trade out of. It gives them more value.
I'm gonna take Gardner right here. They need
Ooh,
another.
that's a pretty good pick. I
Yeah,
think right here we all know this is where receivers are going to go.
right.
So let's look at the receivers. Who's big, physical, fast. That's what they like. That's what Arthur Smith goes for. Garrett Wilson, gone. Not Trey London, Garrett Wilson.
Pretty good pick. Seahawks. I think this is where Willis goes. Willis is finally off the board. Goes to Seattle.
It's a pretty good pick. At 10, as I predicted, Kyle Hamilton.
Hamilton. Yep. Notre Dame safety.
And I think that literally is the game plan that the Jets are going to have coming into this draft.
Mm-hmm. Douglas, I could see him doing that.
For
Washington.
them, I think this is the one thing where you picked Willis at 9. I think in reality that the Commanders are going to try to jump the Seahawks. They're going to try to get Willis.
Right. Washington, they need some old linemen. But
Yeah, but Stingley would be the guy for them.
I'm gonna
They
take
need a
Stingley.
cornerback.
Yeah, they need a CB1 because I don't know who other CB1s that they have other than Fuller, and then that's really it for them right now. What's up, not your average sports kid? What's up, man?
For the
But
Vikings,
I don't
I'm
know.
sorry.
Now I was just gonna say I don't know anyone else that they have at the cornerback position. But go ahead.
For Vikings, Calvin Booth Jr.
Andrew,
They need a corner as well, or Andrew Booth, excuse me.
yeah,
They need yeah, I got to put Calvin, but yeah, they need a cornerback as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick, especially with the new regime that they have. You don't know what they're
Hmm.
gonna do. I think that's a good pick. Um, Texans, they have pick 13th. I'm gonna go Jameson Williams right here. They're high on him. I think they take him right here.
It's a pretty good pick. That's a pretty good pick. Now with the Ravens, let me see what's on defense because I know the Ravens have been clamoring. Let me see that linebacker position. Kobe Dean.
And the Kobe
I'm on
Dean,
the
first
board.
linebacker off the board. Pretty good pick.
Oh, you're lucky you get the Philly pick, but I get the
15th Eagles. Give me
don't you
Jermaine
take
Johnson right
don't take him Johnson. Do not take Johnson.
here. Johnson, I
You
have
know
no
that's not the pick.
problem.
You
I
know
know.
that's not the pick. You know it's Karlaftis. You know their pick is Karlaftis. That's your
I
pick.
don't know, bro. They could take Johnson, bro. I think
They're
that's
not taking. I will put money on it. They're not going to take Johnson. The only way they
it's a
take
new
Johnson,
regime, Vic. It's a new
uh,
regime. You don't know what's
I
gonna
will
happen.
say this: the only way they take Johnson is if the top because I do believe there's going to be 5 defensive ends taken in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
If
Right.
that scenario plays out, then yeah, I would say that they'll look at Johnson because he would be the best available. But they could also, like we did before, wait into the second round and pick up another quality guy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you take Jermaine Johnson for the Saints. Let me go back to receiver. Matter of
Receive.
fact, let me see what they have at quarterback because I believe Sam Howell's out there. Oh, Matt
Correct.
Corral, put
Correct.
him on. Put him on for the Saints. They need their
Correct.
quarterback in the future. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good pick. East Coast Gridiron said Carell is the like best quarterback he's seen, even better than Burrow, like in the last since Luck.
I don't know if he's the best. I wouldn't say that. I'm not going to go that far. He's a good talent, but I don't know if he's the best.
Yeah, he's a good talent, but he ain't that good. Um,
Now for the Chargers. Ooh. Let's look at linebacker and also defensive end. Well, actually, see, they're tough because they desperately need linemen, but I don't think there's anyone quality again.
mhm.
Lloyd Walker. Let me see defensive end. Karlaftis. You
Okay,
pair him up with Bost on the opposite end.
but they got a Mac though.
Who?
They got Khalil Mack.
Oh, well, are they using? Well, is Maggie being used more on the linebacker end or as like
Yeah, he's more
that end?
outside linebacker though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Are they using the out linebacker? Or are they going to put him as hand in the ground?
Good pick. All right, you get this pick because I had the last Eagles pick. What up, MG?
Ooh, this is gonna suck so bad for them. We picked what was it? What was the first pick on for the Eagles?
Jermaine
Jermaine
Johnson,
Johnson. Let me see who's left at wide receiver.
receiver. We got Burks, Olave.
You already know it. Olave.
Olave. Ohio State receiver Chris
Yes,
Olave.
sir.
Eagle. He actually had a visit with the Eagles the other
Yes,
day.
he did. Yeah, yesterday.
Yep. 19th pick, we got the Saints.
Receiver.
Saints.
That's a
Yeah, he
receiver
got
right there. London or Burks? Who do you like?
I'm more of a fan of if it was between these two, I'm more of a fan of Burks, but I think
Hmm.
it's 1A 1B right now because right now London is as a receiver, he gives you all the traits, he gives you the size. I don't think he's got great speed, but in some routes he gets confused by what the cornerback's doing, but I think in the NFL it'll get better. He reminds me of Kenny Galladay, so
For me, I will stay away, far away from anyone from the Pac-12.
yeah.
They will not be a first round pick for me. No one in the Pac-12. I don't care who you are. Will not be a first round pick. Trey Leonard would not be it for me. I'm going with Burks. Especially Arkansas kid. I know they've seen him many times. Ooh,
Mhm.
Steelers. Now who's
Yeah,
available at
Steelers, you
quarterback?
got
Let's
Steelers
see.
pick. All right.
Who's left at quarterback?
We got Howell here.
How? I like him for the Steelers. They've had visits with him. I'll take How.
I honestly personally feel like as a quarterback, Ritter could be good in the future if you put him in the right situation. If he gets a year to develop and then for the future, he could be a quarterback. I think he could be a good solid starting quarterback as a fringe starter. As
I'm
a
going to say this, and it probably won't be popular.
right.
Desmond Ritter is a great backup quarterback, not a starter. Now, he can have developed. That always can happen. We can say the same thing about Jalen Hurts at that time when he came in. So he can develop. I'm just saying the way it looks now coming into the league, he's a backup quarterback.
Mhm. Right.
Who's
Um
available at Wide receiver still.
Receiver.
Yes. London to the Patriots. They need to get Mac Jones target. They need to get him weapons.
Pretty good pick. Packers.
Now this sucks for the Packers because they would go receiver. Now, and this is something I believe the Packers would do. They would make the stretch. They would go for Watson. But
Watson. Wow.
remember, their receivers starved. Their receivers starved. They
They
would
just
make
got
that jump.
Sammy Watkins too. He's gonna play like 3 games though. He's not.
Yeah, I'm about to say Sammy Watkins. That's like Pascal.
Right. Right. Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Ooh,
Now,
there.
there you go. They lost Chandler Jones. That's a big part of their defense. They're gonna want someone to stuff up that, that offensive line. So that'd be a good pick for them.
All right, Cowboys, just take the worst player in the draft. Josh Watts, he's here. I'm playing.
Honestly, Cowboys got to do a lot to their offensive line, so we'll see what they go first.
Cross.
But their defense. Wait, Devin Lloyd's out there? Oops, right. That's the guy probably, but I don't know. It all depends.
I think they would go Cross if he's here because they still got Penning in here. They got Johnson. Do they have Tyron Smith still?
Yes.
They have Tyron Smith. I'm gonna take. But
they Zion lost the other. They lost their guard and their center.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Zion Johnson as a guard.
All right.
We got the Bills pick right here.
Tennessee. Let me see cornerback.
Lloyd.
Oh, the Bills. Oh, that was on Tennessee. Let me see who. The Bills. Let me see at running back. Let's see who's available at running back. Because let's be honest, the Bills need a running back. I would say Breece Hall. Now, don't know if they would do it, but that's just a position that I think that they desperately need to take care of.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Brokey 7-11. He said Watson could be the next Metcalf kid. He's size and speed. Can see that. Breece Hall. Titans.
Yep.
Titans. They need a linebacker, bro. Lloyd.
Yeah, but to say they lost Devin Lloyd was great. That's a great pick for them.
Right.
Now, let me see Linderbaum. That's where he would go. They just lost their number one center, Linderbaum.
That's a good pick. Just a good valued pick. I like it a lot. Packers.
Yeah. Whew. Do they double dip for receiver, or are they that desperate?
I personally feel like they could use a guard or a tackle. If they had to go receiver and tackle, I think receiver double dipping there. I don't know. Maybe they should, because if you're just adding Watson and you got
Watson, you get Bell. That's a big guy, but again, that's a second round talent going in late first round.
Right. True. That is true. Dotson's there.
That's a speed guy, smaller guy. Hey, it all depends on what the Packers want to do. Like, they do need to revamp that wide receiver core. Mm-hmm. Maybe Dotson is the move.
Chiefs. I think
George Pickens.
Safety.
George Pickens.
Pickens.
I think that's Pickens is their move.
Pickens that early? Wow.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that or Sky Moore.
Okay, that's I because I like Sky Moore, but I feel like his size is gonna be an issue in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Now their defense needs to revamp. What do they have here at safety? There we got some, but Lewis out of Georgia.
Signed from Georgia.
That's
we already.
But I don't think that they would go there. Let me see what they got for the defensive line. Defensive line and edge. That's basically want to see what they got left. Perry Winfrey. I would say Perry Winfrey here.
For the Bengals?
Oh, excuse me, Wyatt. I just seen it right there. Wyatt.
What?
No.
Wow. I thought you were going to go tackle because Cross is there.
No, Wyatt.
Okay, that's a good pick. Lions?
For the Lions, because imagine you pair him up with, what was my guy's name that had a great season? Oh, my God, I don't know why. Henderson. You're going to put Wyatt on the other side of Henderson? That's scary.
And they got what's his name? Sam Hubbard, the number 94. He's a dog too. For the Lions, I'm thinking the Lions go receiver because they added my boy Kayvon, or who was their first pick? They added Trayvon Walker. Yeah, Walker. So I'm thinking I could see them going skill position, but I'm thinking they go receiver, but they're not receivers that they would take here. Um, tackle, guard,
Who's left at end?
and Ojabo.
Do
I
they
think
do they go with Ojabo? Are they okay and willing to wait for a talent like that?
Mhm. I think they take Ojabo if it was out of these guys because they would take the risk, and I think Dan Campbell takes the risk there.
Mhm.
What's up, SG? What up? He says take Cross. How's your day going? So far, great. Yeah, Cross is falling. But I'm gonna end the stream off right here. Vic, appreciate you for coming on the channel. You know, this is a good 1 hour live stream. I know you got to run, but shout your self out one more time and let them know where they can find you.
Hey, first, appreciate you for having me on, my guy. Thank you. To everyone that came through, thank you. Please, if you can, come through, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Slay if you have not. At Vick3, you'll find the logo, the face is mine. But yeah, thank you for letting me come on, man. It was a lot of fun. We got to do it again.
Right. Y'all have a safe and blessed day, and me and my guys out. Have a good one.
Peace. Fly just fly.